Welcome and good morning to my Positivity Matters Sangha meeting, and welcome to all of you. Today I'm going to be talking about a method, a modality called tapping or EFT, and it's very simple but extremely effective. The only problem with simple things like this is we think it's too good to be true, and that's not true really, because thousands of people have got such amazing results using simple tools. And I really urge you that if you have spent the time to come and learn this, any new tool you listen to or hear about or learn, give yourself at least 21 days to experiment with it before you discard it. And the minute you see small changes, it itself will sort of inspire you and encourage you to continue. So today we will talk about EFT. It's called Emotional Freedom Technique, or in short, tapping. And this was developed by Gary Craig. And of course, a lot of practitioners, psychologists use it with a lot of good results. And so this one, basically, it's like energy psychology. It uses a lot of modalities like acupuncture, acupressure, thought field psychology, NLP, and it has taken all the good things from all these areas, disciplines, and condensed it into an extremely simple, extremely effective method. But before I teach you this and we go towards it, I want all of you to please turn on your videos. We've talked about this in several sessions. And I want you to do a practice that is going to seal the importance of this modality in your mind. So take a few deep breaths, come to the present moment, bring all of yourself, your body, your mind, and your intellect into this moment. You owe it to yourself. Take a few deep breaths. Breathe in and expand, and breathe out and relax. One more time, breathe in and breathe out, relax. One last time, breathe in and breathe out, relax. Close your eyes and stretch your hand. Take any hand, either your dominant hand or your non-dominant hand, preferably your dominant hand, and stretch it all the way back to your back wall. Stretch it all the way. Close your eyes, don't look behind. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Go as far as you can. Stretch. Little bit more. And open your eyes and look where your hand is. Make a point on the wall, a mental point on the wall. See where your hand is. Make a mental note and bring your hand back to the front. Bring your hands back to the front. Now take a few more deep breaths, couple of deep breaths again. Breathe in. Breathe out. Put your hands down. Just relax yourself. Breathe in, expand. Breathe out, relax. And breathe in, expand, and breathe out, relax. Now again, close your eyes and take the same hand and stretch it behind you. This time, telling yourself, I can go further and farther. I can stretch more, well beyond my capacity. I can keep stretching and stretching and stretching. I can go further. Don't look back, look front, close your eyes, keep stretching and tell yourself, I can do better. I can stretch more and more and more. I'm flexible, I'm strong, and I can stretch further behind. Now open your eyes and see where your finger is. Do you see any difference where you were in the first time and where you are the second time? And this is what this technique is going to do to you. You start out with an image of what you are capable of doing. That's your trained, your subconscious. You have trained your subconscious for a variety of reasons to be limited, to say, I am capable of this and no more. And the mere suggestion that you can do a little bit more. Look what happens. And imagine if you did this on a regular basis every day, what more you can achieve in your life. Just by telling yourself, I can do more. I'm capable of more. I can effect change. So there is, before we start off on this technique, I want you to understand a few critical things surrounding this technique. First, we've talked about this several times. There is a big link between our body and our mind. Our body symbolizes our subconscious. Everything that our mind has trained, our body is the subconscious. It does things habitually. It cannot do anything on its own until an impetus comes from the mind. The mind has to tell the body, you can do this, you can do more, and not just occasionally random. Say it in a consistent, dominant way, then the body can start changing. All it's waiting for is a consistent command from the mind. So this EFT technique helps you to combine and to join and to unite your subconscious habitual body with your conscious and active and creative mind, and create a connection whereby the consciously, dominantly, your mind is giving an idea, an instruction to your body, you can do this. And today we chose to talk about weight loss. And another thing before I move on, the first thing about weight loss is not to use the word loss. Because what happens when you lose something? Instinctively, you start to look for it. I lost this. I need it. I want it back. I want it back. This is a training to the body because we have trained ourselves. Anything we lose, we want to search and bring it back. So train yourself to use the word weight reduction. Reduction of excess weight, reduction as opposed to loss. Okay, going back, this technique can be used in any area of your life. Anywhere you experience limitation, you can use this, whether it's a self-confidence, whether it is physical pain, like, back pain, eye pain, head pain, lack of ability to create money, lack of ability to attract and hold on to fulfilling relationships, lack of self-esteem, any area where you feel contracted, limited, it's because your subconscious has been trained to behave that way. But that is not written in stone. You can change it anytime, like you saw today. With one thought, you can choose this much. But the secret is constant, dominant thought, not random thoughts. There is an understanding between your body and your mind that just random thoughts, the body will not start manifesting because it's dangerous. We have such negative thoughts, even those will start manifesting. So if you hold a thought in your mind with focus and energy, what is energy? Emotion. Emotions in motion is called energy. Then it will start manifesting. But understand another thing, that our mind, our primitive mind, our survival mind, it has a negativity bias. For instance, we tend to believe in negative things much more than in positive things. And there is a reason why. If you think back to our Paleolithic age, to our caveman days, what happens? We always had, humans had two choices: to presume, to assume, or to think that there is a tiger in the bush, or the second choice is there's no tiger in the bush. Suppose there is no tiger in the bush, and you assume there is a tiger. What will happen? At best, you'll have some anxiety, but nothing happens. But imagine if there is a tiger in the bush and you don't believe there is one, what happens? You get eaten and die. So that's why after thousands of such experiences, our primitive mind decided it's always better to think the worst. Be prepared for the worst case scenario. That is why instinctively, subconsciously, when we have a choice to think of a positive outcome or a negative outcome, instinctively we move towards a negative outcome because that ensures our survival. At worst, we won't get anything. At best, we will survive. So scientists have found out that to overcome this negativity bias, because we have a confirmation bias, whatever you want to see, that's what you're going to see. Today, do an experiment. When you go out after this session, decide to see a purple color car. That's not very common, and see how many purple color cars you see on the road today. Because you have tuned out to see purple color cars, you never see it. The minute you set an intention that I will look for a purple color car, I want to see, I want to buy, I want a purple color car, everywhere they will start popping up. It is not that they were not there in your environment. You had tuned out of it. So your focus and your attention is very important to manifest things. It is always there. Not that you are manifesting things out of thin air. Everything is simultaneously, infinite possibilities are existing. Whatever you're focusing on, that's what you are manifesting. And in case of our body, weight or disease, we are focusing on disease. That is why during this COVID, I keep telling people, don't focus on the death, don't focus on the death toll, don't focus on the what will happen. Focus on what I'm doing to get out of it, what science is giving me, what my country is doing for me. Focus on the positive outcome. You need 5 positive experiences to overcome 1 negative experience. So you have to put in that effort, hence the repetition. So that remember that our brain is wired with a negative towards negativity. We have a confirmation bias. Whatever you want to believe, that is all you're going to see. And that confirmation bias, in other words, is a filter. You put the filter that I'm sick. You put the filter that I'm obese. You put the filter that I'm poor. That is all you will see, and that is all the universe will deliver to you. This technique gives you a chance to take off that filter and go back to the realm of possibilities. And not only possibilities, you will condense and materialize and manifest something that you really want. So let's talk about a little bit about stress. When we are stressed, what happens? Everybody knows this. You know, one of 3 conditions we do. One is fight, flee, or freeze. And also this, we don't have any choice. Depending on our elemental composition, according to Ayurveda, I've talked about this. If you're a Vata personality or air dominant, if you're a Pitta personality, fire dominant, or you're a Kapha personality, earth dominant, will determine whether you will fight, whether you will flee, or whether you'll freeze. What happens when stress happens? The Pitta personality, those who are driven by the fire element, will always fight. And when you fight, what happens? You start losing energy in all the areas where you don't need to lose energy. If you're a Vata personality, air dominant, you will flee. You're in denial. No, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem. You will start defensive mechanisms like eating, shopping, sleeping, drinking, anything to escape the situation. You don't want to even be aware. You're in denial because that's the nature of air. It cannot stay in one place, constantly moving. If you're a Kapha dominant personality, earth dominant personality, you freeze. You know that there's a problem, but you can't do anything. You just can't do anything because that's the nature of earth. And it's like a deer being, frozen in the headlights. So once we are stressed, this mechanism, emotional freedom technique, will help you de-stress. Because the minute there is stress, our body starts releasing cortisol, which starts craving sugar, fat, carbs, because these are comforting foods. They comfort us. So our only, and if you try to solve this problem by your willpower, you can only succeed for a very short period of time. And because we have tried only to use our conscious mind and our willpower and have failed in the past, our society, with its obsession with this size 0 and thin, this thing has told us anybody who has excess weight is either doesn't have self-control or weak personality or character, or we're less than the optimal, not realizing that this is not or excess weight or any kind of limitation is not because we have a weak personality, not because we don't have willpower. It's because that is what we have been trained to unconsciously tell our body to do. Our body thinks, our subconscious thinks this is safe for us. For instance, if somebody was sexually abused as a child and that person was good looking, and because of her good looks, she attracted the wrong people who abused her. What do you think that child who doesn't understand anything, what is the connection between beauty and obesity? Instantly, you will try to make yourself as ugly as possible so that you never have to go through this trauma in your life. Or for instance, even if you've never had sexual, that is an extreme case. In the primitive times, the only thing that really made sure that you would die is lack of food. So every time we were stressed, our first response is to go for food. We have two basic instincts, food and sex. Food is necessary for survival of this being, us, and sex is necessary for the survival of the species. These two things are deeply ingrained into our subconscious. And if you want to overcome this, you will have to use something like this. There are many techniques. We have talked about Ho'oponopono. This is another technique, emotional freedom technique. So now it's a very simple technique, and I will first explain the steps. Then I'll give you certain, statements, and we will do it together. All it requires is, it uses this Gary Craig. He brought the concept of psychology, NLP, acupressure, and thought field therapy together. We have to identify a limiting thought or many limiting thoughts, but we'll start with one or two or three because we don't want to overburden our mind and our body and our emotion. And then we will just start tapping at different parts on our body and upper body on the meridian lines, because the meridians, according to traditional Chinese medicine, are connected to different organs, and each of these organs release a certain kind of hormones and a certain kind of behavior pattern and thought pattern. And we combine it with negative statements, the ones that we are identified with right now, and then over a period of time, we will convert them to positive phrases. Why is it important to start with negative treatments? Because the negative phrases, because we cannot live in denial. We must give clear instructions to our body and hence our subconscious that this limiting thought, which is driving me, and I'm not even aware of it, I want to substitute this, remove this, and destroy this, and take it out of my consciousness. I don't want to subscribe to this limiting thought. So it is important for us to identify the limiting thought, then take it out of our system to create energetic space to receive the positive phrases that we want to train our subconscious to manifest these thoughts. So first you will identify an area, whether it is your health, whether it is your finances, relationships, self-esteem. And then once you identify an area, you start identifying the limiting beliefs you have, because those are the beliefs that are manifesting. And last session, we discussed that, why you can't have something. And the reason behind the reason is your subconscious belief. After that, we do a setup statement. A setup statement, it's called the karate chop point. This, karate, how they break those bricks and the board. So that is why this area, the fleshy part of the palm, is called the karate chop point. So we use this like this or like this. And we set up a statement that even though, whatever you want to believe, even though I believe that I'm fat and that I'll always be fat and I'll never lose weight in this lifetime, then what do? You do a positive setup. I still choose to love, accept, and honor myself. This is the setup statement. And then you will tap through I've given that, picture. We will tap through certain points. And then, before you tap through, you will evaluate the intensity of this belief. So on a scale of 0 to 10, you have to say, if I say I'm fat and my genes are like that and I'm constitutionally, I'm like this. Really, how much do I really believe that? On a scale of 0 to 10, if it is not a strong belief, don't waste your time on it right now. Find beliefs that are really strong. I truly believe that no matter what I do, I will come back to this weight because genetically I have this and my constitution is like this, whatever, if you believe. Because that is important. And then you start tapping through these points. After each round of tapping, you will evaluate it again. On a scale of 0 to 10, how much do I believe it? Sometimes it will immediately drop. Sometimes it takes several rounds for that number to drop. And you will use these negative statements until it comes down to us, a reading of 5 or below. Thereafter, that means you've created enough space in your energetic consciousness to receive the new positive phrases. Then you start tapping with the positive phrases. And at the end of it, before you end a session, you can do it. Again, evaluate yourself from 0 to 10. Where is it? Leave the tapping when you're around 1 or 2 or 3. This is your regular practice. But once you practice this on a regular basis and become very familiar with the points and with the setup statement and what you're dealing with, don't keep jumping around. Pick one area first. If it's your weight, work with it for 21 days. If it's your finance, work. Because if you go back and forth, your mind gets confused. It's not ready to deal with too many instructions. So pick one area, and then during the day, something will happen. Somebody will say something, you will see something, and you will get triggered. And immediately, if you're in a work environment, go to the bathroom and quickly tap. The only fallback of this method is when you do these things, people will think you're weird and we don't do it. So find a private space. If you can go to a bathroom or some other place, or, go for a walk outside and do it quickly. Especially do this today. You must try this one. If there is a temptation of any sort, no matter how much we convince ourselves, these subconscious conditionings and limiting beliefs are so deeply entrenched. Even when you release it, it keeps coming back. Sometimes, you're going towards a chocolate or a sugar or a candy or something, or too much alcohol. Try it. When the craving strikes you and nothing in your conscious mind is stopping you, immediately do this. 3-4 rounds. I guarantee you, it'll buy you time. You will not go for that. You will not cave in to that craving. So before we start practicing it, I'm going to read off let's say about 10 or 12 statements and see. This is about weight loss, because today we decided to talk about weight loss, but you can make such a statement about any area of your life. Pick 1 or 2 or 3 of these statements and write down if you can. I will also send it. Okay, I will send it, but right now, so that you can use it, see which one you resonate with. Is this the limiting belief that is running in your background? I'm just helping you to identify a few thoughts. You can make up your own. In fact, you should make up your own. Don't go with other people's thoughts. What do you believe? Why are you overweight? Why are you not able to reduce your weight? You have to bring those things. So think, write down few of these points if it resonates with you. No matter what I try, I can't lose weight. This is a limiting belief. It is not the truth. You have chosen to believe this for whatever reason. I'll give you a few minutes if you want to grab a paper and pen so that you can do these simultaneously. And you can, like I said, if you don't want to work on weight, you can start writing whichever area, illness or finance, wherever you want to work on losing the limiting beliefs. Why you can't have good health? What do you think is the reason that you can't have good health? What do you think is the reason why you cannot make why you cannot have financial prosperity? What is the reason you think that you don't have a loving relationship or a partner? Why? Those are the reasons. Those are your limiting thoughts. So the first one is, no matter what I try, I can't lose weight. That is a limiting thought. If you believe that, write it down. The second one is, my whole family is heavyweight. That's why automatically I have to be heavyweight. Third, I've been heavy or fat or obese since childhood. Nothing will change. Fourth, healthy food doesn't taste good. Fifth, food that is healthy is not worth eating. Healthy food does not fill me up. Every time I lose weight, it comes right back. I've never been thin in my life. I don't know what it is to be thin or how to be thin. Eating out is celebrating. It's a reward I deserve. Cooking healthy food requires too much effort. I do not have the time to cook healthy food or exercise. I don't like exercise. My joints will not allow me to exercise. My health prevents me to exercise. I'm too tired to take care of my weight. My family comes first, and I have no time for myself. So these are some of the statements, and there can be any number. These are usually the statements that you hear from people. So what you do is, please take out that sheet we sent you, the tapping points, wherever it is, and you start with, even though. See, this is the karate chop point. You can do this. Any hand is okay. Doesn't matter which hand you do. And even though when you're tapping, you can do with one hand or two hand. If you can, I prefer that you tap with both hands and with your tips, not with the pads of your finger, because if you tap with two hands, more likely that you'll get the meridian points. But practitioners have confirmed time and again, irrespective, if you do it lightly with one hand, it still works. I personally believe that I want to make sure that I'm getting all the meridian points. So you start with, even though I think that I can never lose weight, I still love, honor, and accept myself totally. And you do that 3 or 4 times. Even though I think that I can never lose weight, I still love, accept, and honor myself totally. Even though I think I can never lose weight, I love, honor, and accept myself totally. Then we'll tap through the points, the acupressure points. We go at the top of the head first. My whole family is heavy, so it's impossible for me to lose weight. I've always been heavy. I don't know how to be thin. Being heavy comes naturally to me. It's in my genes. I don't know what to do to lose weight. Exercise is too difficult, so I cannot exercise to lose weight. Healthy food tastes horrible, so I cannot eat that for a long period of time. I don't know what to do. My family comes first, so I have to take care of them. No time left for myself. Then there is under the arm. Eating is, cooking is boring, and eating out is a reward I deserve. Then you keep going back to the same points and negative feelings you go through. I was born fat and I will remain fat. My body constitution is fat, so I don't think I can lose fat. Everybody in my family is fat, so I have to be fat. What should I say? Every time I lose weight, the weight keeps coming back. I don't like to exercise. Exercise is too difficult for me. My joints are paining and I can't exercise. Cooking healthy food is boring, tasteless, and I don't feel like doing it. So we go through that several times. And then you will, we forgot to actually do the evaluation. From a scale of 0 to 10, you have to find out how much the sentences that you're tapping on, the negative sentences, how much you identify with that. And on a scale of 0 to 10, let's start now. How much do you identify with, let's say, it's very difficult to lose weight on a scale of 0 to 10? Yeah, all of you identify with that, right? So let's tap on that one. Even though I think it's very difficult to lose weight, I still love, accept, and honor myself. Even though I think that it's very difficult to lose weight, I love, accept, and honor myself. Even though I think that it is impossible to lose weight, it's too difficult, I still love, accept, and honor myself. Losing weight is very difficult. I love, accept, and honor myself. Even though losing weight is very difficult, I love, accept, and honor myself. I don't think it's possible. I've tried it so many times, but I still love, accept, and honor myself. I've tried it and failed so many times, but I still love and accept myself. Is it really possible to lose weight? I still love, accept, and honor myself. It's very difficult to exercise, but I still love, accept, and honor myself. My genes will come in the way. My genetic makeup will prevent me from losing weight, but I still love and accept myself. Even though I feel it's useless to try to reduce weight, I still love and accept myself. And now, if you go through this evaluation of 0 to 10, what would be your number? Has it reduced at all? If it hasn't, then you continue to do that till you feel it's about number 5. After that, you have to switch to the positive affirmations. And
Neeta,
yes,
can I interrupt?
please.
How do you immediately tell if it's possible for you to for the number to go down? I cannot. Like,
see, if it is a very deeply held belief, you can't. That's why you have to do several rounds of it, and then it won't come down to 5 right away. It may come down to 9. If it comes down to 5 immediately, you know this is not a deeply held belief, because your subconscious will not let go like this. You have trained it for decades to believe this. So you just have to do it continuously. And if it doesn't go below 9 or 8, after 5 rounds, start with the positive one, because there is a slight shift. Every time you do it, there's a slight shift. And then you start giving the positive commands to your subconscious, saying, even though I think that I can never lose the weight, I love, accept, and honor myself. And then you start that I love myself. I'm worthy of losing weight. I see so many people who have successfully lost weight. Science tells me that losing weight is possible. If I see people who are any place where there is lack of food, everybody loses. So why can't I lose? This is a belief you have to build yourself up to. If you go to Ethiopia, or even, God forbid, during the Holocaust, did you see any fat carcass there? So we have trained ourselves to think that we can never lose weight. But somebody who's been starved in a prison or in a country that doesn't have food, they all lose weight. So this is a wrong belief that my body constitution is such that I cannot lose weight. So you tell yourself these facts that I have seen. Wherever there is a famine, people lose weight. So if I eat less and if I eat healthy, I will lose weight. I have seen so many people succeeding in weight reduction. So then you go through the positive. Cooking healthy need not be a pain. So many people do it. It need not be fancy. I reward myself by a healthy and strong body rather than eating out. So you go through, and I will send you some scripts that we can work on that will help you. But you know what? These scripts are only as good as somebody else's beliefs. What is your true belief? What is the reason behind your reason? And you find the exact opposite of why do you think that you cannot reduce weight? Why do you think that you cannot beat the illness? What is in you that you think that you cannot create prosperity? So when you have at least 10 of these statements, you go behind the reason and you think the opposite. For money, I don't have the degree. Then you tell yourself, the world is full of people who have no degrees who have made money. Or even a disease, terminal disease. It's, very scary, and science says that 90% people die. But you say that I have heard stories of miracles happening where people can cure themselves. So you go to the exact opposite of what you're believing, and you start tapping on those lines. For instance, let me read you a few things. I will post this. I will give it to Ragini. She will post it for you. I was just looking online to pick up some phrases, something like cooking my own food is too much work. You can say the exact opposite. I can relax and enjoy cooking healthier food for myself. Or you can say, eating should be fun, not more work. I can let myself enjoy cooking and eating healthier food, knowing it's nourishing for my body. I don't have time to think about what I'm eating. Eating healthfully gives me more energy, so it's worth making time for. Things like that. Whatever the reasons you do, exact opposite, saying, yes, it is possible, it is enjoyable, other people have done it, and I can do it too. Or things like,
so basically, you just contradict your own negative thought and replace it with a positive one.
Yes, 180 degrees. You just, go from whatever you believe to the exact opposite of that, and you start tapping. And if you do this 21 days and you check it's very important, Kavita, to maintain that evaluation scale, because it is so subtle, you won't realize that it's working. It's like children in summer, every day you look at them and say, I'm not growing, I'm not growing, I'm not growing. When they go back to school, people say, hey, what happened? You shot up by 12 inches. So you won't see the change every day. And this is a method why that evaluation is such an important part. So there are 3 parts. First is identifying a belief, then making a list of your negative beliefs, why you think that you have to suffer this in this area. Then you have to make a setup statement, a negative statement, that even though I think it's impossible for me to make money, even though it's impossible for me to be healthy, even though it's impossible for me to reduce weight, that is the setup statement. the negative belief that you're going to work on, and then you start tapping. No, sorry, before you start tapping, you will ask yourself this question: on a scale of 0 to 10, how much do I believe it? And when you are asking this question, bring awareness. This whole journey is about bringing awareness. Bring awareness not just to your thoughts, but your body. Your body will start twitching. You know how when we are uncomfortable, we start making body movements? Because your body is not agreeing with it. Your mind may agree with it. Your body won't agree with it. You'll have a scratch somewhere. You'll have a burning sensation.
Yeah.
Distracting you. So understand that, and that counts towards going in the higher scale, 8, 9, 10. And then you start tapping on the negative things, that even though this happens, you are giving yourself, you're forgiving yourself for all the mistakes you have made and all the things you don't know, and you are allowing yourself to love yourself. We've been talking about how important self-love is. At the bottom of every lack, disease, and limiting beliefs is thinking I am not good enough. And here you're saying, irrespective of my worst fault, I love myself. I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of recognition. I'm worthy of a good, enjoyable life. I'm worthy of health. I'm worthy of money. I'm worthy of relationships. You are giving yourself permission. You're not waiting, because up until now, the world has told you you're not worthy of this, and this. And you have accepted it and you're manifesting it. Now you take back power and say, okay, this is what I believe because this is what my past experiences have told me. But now I choose to believe that I love myself. I'm worthy of love. I honor myself and I accept myself exactly the way I am today. And, many people have this confusion. If I accept, how can I want something more? Accepting means what is today does not mean you cannot aspire to be. We are infinite beings who are living a limited life. We will always aspire to be better, but we are not regretting what has happened. All those things have contributed to bring us here.
Yes.
You are accepting it. You're accepting everything that happens in your life, and you're not going to say that because I don't have the money, I'm not worthy of this or don't deserve this, because I don't have the body, because I don't have a loving husband or wife or children. No, you are giving yourself permission to love yourself, to accept yourself, to honor yourself. And the minute you start doing that, watch how the outside world will resonate, because what we are, the outside world is a reflection of us. All along, we have bought into these limiting thoughts that I can't do this. And the worst thing that comes in the way is this pseudo intellectuals. I'm not saying pseudo, this is let's say improperly informed. Science says this genetically, but there is a field of study which is epigenetics, which is saying you can transcend your genes. Lot of research is being done by Bruce Lipton and many other people who say that genes, your genetic makeup, is only a tendency, you can overcome that with your mind. So if you don't do anything, if you live unconsciously, yes, your genes will play out. Exactly. If you're meant to have diabetes, you will have it, but you can choose to transcend that. So there is a expanding field of study called epigenetics, which is beyond genes, saying that you are not constrained by your genes. You can do whatever you want, but we are lazy. We don't want to do this. It's so much easier. And many times we don't want to reduce weight. We don't want to be wealthy because of subconscious beliefs. Last time we talked, when we were a child, one of the parents made a lot of money and walked out of the relationship. So the child realized, oh, making money means relationship will break. If that is what you believe, do you think you're ever going to make more money than just enough? No. Because it's an irrational belief, but that's sitting in your subconscious. So until you acknowledge that, I think, the minute I'll do a workshop, a session on prosperity and wealth beliefs. Then if money is evil, money is bad, I just want enough. Or the minute money comes, beware of this thing. The minute money comes, I want to give it away. Why do you want to give it away? You associate money with something wrong. And same with health. That, if I look after myself, I'm a bad mother because I'm ignoring my children and my husband and my parents. Or if I become very powerful, then you have the responsibility to change your community and your world. And we are too lazy to do that. And not only that, power and name and fame it's very lonely at the top. Nobody wants to be lonely. You know, when look at how much you enjoy everything Steve Jobs has done, but we don't spare think twice before criticizing his bad qualities, or you know, Bill Gates' bad qualities. So many people are divorcing, nobody talks about it, but Bill Gates is divorcing. Oh, everybody has to take a saw and a knife and go at it. Why? We don't want our public private life to be like that. So it's better not to have money, better not to have name, better I'll just live my miserable sorry life, nobody has to comment on me. You know, so, and same with celebrity status. You know, suddenly if there is a famine somewhere, if there is a you know, civil rights violation somewhere, you're supposed to go and fight for it. And if you make one wrong statement, the whole media is on you and, you know, really tearing you apart. Who wants to do that? Better to sleep at home and not have a comment. Why should I do that? You know, those are limit. It's so much easier to be invisible, so that nobody will, you know, no blame can come to you. But with power, great power, comes great responsibility. And many of us are not ready to take that responsibility. And that is why in archetypes, we don't have an archetype of a emotionally vulnerable Hercules. You know, Hercules is the one, or Atlas, that the strong man who's carrying the earth.
Yeah.
Anybody who has money, anybody who has name, do you feel like sorry for them ever? Never. But somebody who has no money, somebody who has poor health, we always feel sorry for them. And we don't realize it, but deep inside we want people to feel sorry for us, because that is a mode of love. We didn't get it only, and I'll give you my personal experience here so that you can identify with it. When I was growing up, my parents were working very hard to build a business, and they're very successful people. And they made sure that we were surrounded by caretakers, but they were not there physically. And, you know, as a child, you feel abandoned, even though I was not abandoned. They took care of everything. We did not lack for anything, but physically they were not there. It was once what happens is I felt sick. And these sicknesses also, where it happens is very important. If you are get a liver disease or breast cancer or stomach problem or eye problem, these are related to different chakras. Each chakra deals with a different psychological consciousness. So for me, it was a jaundice. And I realized suddenly my mother appeared from nowhere. And for 1 month, she was with me, taking care of me. As a young child, what do you think that connection was in my mind? Every time I fall sick, my mother can come. It's a magical thing. I fall sick, my mother is here. Throughout the next 20 years, I had one illness after another, and my mother appeared every time. Until I went to a hypnotherapy class, and they pointed out my illness is just to get my mother to be with me. But I was not realizing that. So the minute I realized that my mother, I was not abandoned, she loves me, and I don't have to be sick to get my mother, the illness has stopped. You know, these are not small illnesses. I went through jaundice and paratyphoid and typhoid and all kinds of horrendous diseases just to manifest my mother. And I didn't realize that that disease I was manifesting. So nobody else in my family was manifesting. And these are common diseases. I would stay in a dorm. Nobody has that disease. Only I'll have that disease. Everybody is eating the same food. So why should I get typhoid and not everybody else? My inside belief that if I'm sick, and surely enough, every time I was sick, my mother would be there. She would take me to a hotel, we'll stay there, and she'll take care of me, and I'll give the exam, and everything was fine. That's when I started realizing after the hypnotherapy that, look, I'm manifesting my disease. And the minute I realized that, those infectious diseases stopped. So that's part of the reason. And also, when it comes to money, you don't want to, overshadow somebody. We believe that, in our society today, men are supposed to be the breadwinners. The minute the women start making money and becoming more popular and more important, it affects marriages. There are not that many strong men who can take equally successful wives and be okay with it. So if you want to save your marriage, subconsciously you start earning little less. You will stop. You will just be enough, but no more. And you have to recognize that. And then I'm not saying that you can make all the money and still have your marriage, because you have no control over your spouse's thoughts. But you have to make a choice at that point, whether I don't care if my marriage ends up in divorce, but I want to make the money, or I'm okay not making the money. I'm enjoying my relationship. Nothing is right or wrong. The choice is yours, but you know that it's not fate driving you. You have chosen that your relationship is more important and it cannot take your name and fame right now. And that's perfectly fine. You can choose this or you can choose that. Nobody is here. And that is why last time we did that phrase, right and wrong, good or bad. So you have to release your judgments about making money is good. Many people say, no, I want my family. I don't want the money. But not tell yourself that fate is not giving me money. I am, destiny is such. No, you have chosen. You have chosen to put a ceiling on your earning capacity because you believe that it's going to it's going to destroy your relationships. So,
Rita, I have a question.
Yes.
So you said after, going back to the tapping, right?
I can't hear you.
Right, so
Shilpa, you're not audible. We can't hear you.
Okay. Just a minute, let me see. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So I said going back to tapping. If you said that when you make the statement and it doesn't come down to the number, reduce the number of how strong the belief is. After 5 rounds, you start doing the positive.
Yes.
But when you do the next day and you realize it's back to same 10, then you go back to doing the same thing.
Yes, because this is even 21 days won't be enough, because if you're starting out at 10, this is decades of conditioning. So, it's just like I'll tell you, Shilpa, you believe that if you jump from, let's say, walking on fire is going to burn your feet. If I tell you 10 times, will you believe the other way? That walking on fire will not burn your feet. But I will show you people who do that in my state, in Odisha, in India. And many people have started bringing in here. You can walk on fire and it's not going to burn your feet. But if you go in there after 10 times of saying this, I can guarantee you your feet will burn. Because you don't believe it yet. You have to believe it, and it'll take time. What has taken you 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years to believe, you think in 5 rounds of it, it'll go away. But this is just the start. And give yourself at least 10 weeks. If you have taken 10 years to build this belief, give yourself 10 weeks. Every day you do it, give yourself a year. These are deeply held beliefs. And to change your mind, because the minute in your mind you can believe it, you will hold it in your hand. I can guarantee you something which goes against science. If you, as clear as walking on fire will burn your feet. And there are people who walk on fire and it doesn't burn their feet. Why? How? That has to be a level of, but they were not doing this at age 30. They were trained from age 2 to believe, no, fire will not burn your feet. Fire will not burn your feet. And you have to train yourself to go to that level. And in pain also, many people think if this happens to me, I can die. But there are stories, innumerable stories where parents have met with accident, but they have a dependent child where they tell themselves, no, I have to survive. And it has worked to take them enough to take them to the hospital. So what I'm trying to say is, you start off with doing this. Do not bring your critical, intelligent, intellectual mind into this. This has worked. And that for many people, the only reason it won't work for you is if you start questioning it. And I keep saying our mind is our best friend and it's our worst enemy. The best friend is it can give a command to our subconscious to change. The worst enemy is not believing it. Not working, not working. What are you expecting? 50 years of conditioning with 5 times saying it is going to go away? That everybody knows will not work. But at least you can start today and focus on one area, then give it a break, then focus on other areas. And definitely today, ladies, try it when you have a craving. You want to eat that sugar, want to have that wine, want to have it is, and say, even though I want this, I still love, accept in myself, love, honor, accept myself. And the positive phrase you say, it is possible to control, curb cravings. People have done it. I can do it. It's possible. Do that. I do not have to eat that thing. That is not going to bring me health. It's not going to give me happiness. Say that when you have a craving today and see instantaneously it'll work for you. It'll instantaneously meaning it'll buy you maybe half nut. And if you do this again and again and again, it becomes a habitual, repetitive, pre-programmed thought in your subconscious. In the beginning, this is once or twice. First time in a novelty factor, the subconscious will do it. It's like beginner's luck. Then after that, for the longest time, it won't work. Because now comes the tussle between your conscious and subconscious mind. It's like hacker trying to get into your password. Every wrong password, the subconscious says, no, I have not heard this. This password doesn't ring with me. But then if you keep doing it, then your subconscious says, okay, this is what the conscious mind really wants me to do. She's putting so much effort into this. She really must want it. And another thing, if you cannot do this, devote yourself 15 minutes a day or 20 minutes a day to do this. If you can't do it, what does that tell you? Your conscious mind doesn't want to make this a dominant thought. Doesn't want to. There is resistance from inside. You can't do 20 minutes, do 15 minutes. Can't do 15 minutes, do 10 minutes. Can't do 10 minutes, do 5 minutes. If you can't even do 5 minutes, do 5 times. And every day, if you do 5 times, then your conscious, it'll build up.
Thank you, Nivedita.
So yeah, if any other questions, we are at the end of our session today, but if you have any questions, I'll be happy to take them.
So a lot of times what happens, sorry, this is Kavita, I want to ask a question. Yeah. So a lot of times, like, we work on strengthening our willpower and building our subconscious to go against like some of the foods that we know that will make us gain weight. But what happens is, like, okay, you work hard on your subconscious and then you keep doing it for several days or several months. But then there comes a point or some time, like after a few months of doing this, that you drop all your guards and I'm like, I cannot do this anymore. And then you eat incessantly, and then you then you just can't resist, and you even try to make up for the lost months. Mm-hmm. So why does that happen, and how can we stop that? Because we work very hard to lose the weight, but what happens is, like, when we stop doing all the efforts, which is a lot of effort that goes into losing weight, and then it comes back with a vengeance. It comes back with like double the amount.
Very good question, Kavita. And that is where, because repeatedly after that you have given up, that's why that thought process has got strengthened in your mind. Even when you are sliding down, if you do this, you will slide down less number of times and stay and recoup and bounce back faster. If you say that, even though I'm breaking my diet, even though I feel that this again has happened to me, I still love, accept, honor myself. And that is the important thing, is doing it when you're sliding down. Stop eating food, stop exercising, but do this. If you don't do this, then it's very difficult. This period is just like, when when a mother tells a child that, if you come and tell me the truth, I'm going to give you candy, but gives 2 tight slaps. So after 3 times, the child will never tell the truth. But if you again go back and say, no, beta, come in, and next time 2-3 times you will actually hug the child and tell the child it's okay. It depends. That balance has to change. How often you react negatively to how often you do anything about it. If you don't do anything about it, again, you are reinforcing those beliefs that you have been strengthening from childhood and other lifetimes. Think about it. Suppose you were in the Holocaust in your last life and you were starved to death for months. What were your last thoughts and dominant thoughts? Food, 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 food. You're born in this lifetime, I want food. And you don't eat enough because that fear that I won't have enough food. So you have to, I'm not saying that today you will lose all the weight and tomorrow you'll keep it off. But this is a tool. It's like, when you need energy, do you eat once for a whole day and then for the rest of your life you don't have to eat? You have to eat. So my EFT is also that. Just because it worked today and you lost or reduced the weight doesn't mean you give it up and say, now I don't have to do it. Yes, there is always going to be that pull and push, pull and push. And see, here it is very important, those who come from the Hindu mythology background, very many people don't understand why Lord Ram, Ram in the Ramayana mythology, hid behind a tree to kill Bali. The battle between Sugriva and Bali, only those who know this mythology, it will make sense to you, but I'm telling you, it's a powerful tool. Because Bali had this boon that whoever faces him in a negative battle, he will take away half of their strength. So ultimately, he'll have 1.5 strength and his enemy will have only half strength. Obviously, Bali always won. Now, what is Bali? Bali is this strong limiting beliefs. If you come head on with your limiting beliefs, you are going to lose. No question about it. So you hide behind EFT. You hide behind, suppose drinking is your problem, do not take a job as a bartender saying that, no, I'm going to fight my negative limiting beliefs. If sweet sugar is your problem, don't head for the dessert table in the buffet. You have to hide. Tell people, don't bring dessert to my place. I want to hide from desserts. Tell friends that if you drink, I'm not going to go out with you. This is hiding from your limiting or your, limiting thoughts and beliefs. So that is why you have to understand that when you're working on something, make sure, weight proof your house. Don't keep those things and then do tapping and look at it. Will work though. You can check it. Put your best chocolate in front of you just to prove to yourself and then throw the chocolate away. It will work. This tapping and all, these are the hiding techniques. You are not getting a bottle of alcohol and saying, I can beat you, I can beat you. Or you're not getting this pound of ice cream and say, I can look at this and not. You will, that temptation will, destroy you. So you have to hide behind, not have those foods, not see those foods, and take the help of these things.
Okay.
So it's very important, early stages, not to go out and wage a head-on battle with your worst enemy. If it's food or alcohol or money, something for lifetimes you have been believing, you're not going to win that war right away. Remember that practice I keep talking about, Japanese Kaizen, so small that your brain doesn't, or your subconscious does not register resistance. So even while you're eating, instead of, what do we do when we eat? See, I'm so weak, criticize, I knew this won't work, nothing work. Instead of that, even though I'm eating the ice cream, I still love, accept and honor myself. Even though I think I can't do this, I still love and honor. Eat the ice cream and keep doing it. Eat the drink, keep on drinking and do this. After 2 or 3, you will stop. Because that soul inside, that our inner child that is craving for acceptance and love and forgiveness, just wants to hear, even though you're making a mistake, I love you, I love you, I love you, I forgive you. It's okay if you made this mistake. It's okay. We'll work with it together. That's all the child. If your child comes to you with a problem, drug addiction, what would you say? Would you beat him, hit him, throw him out? No. You'll say, okay, let's work together. That's what you're telling your inner child. Let's work together. It's okay. It's okay. You're not weak. I still love you. You're lovable. You're worthy. You can do this. Let's work at it. Let's work together. Okay. And you can't go from eating 20 cookies to 1 cookie. If you first, when you just observe it, from 20 cookies, it will become 18, 15, 20. Then it may become 30. Because that inner child is testing you. You really mean it? If I eat 30, will you still love me? Sometimes it will test you, your inner child. That's when this thing happens, goes right back. And if you say useless, I knew you would never make it, then that's it. Or say, okay, let's start again. Let's go to the beginning. Let's go back to the drawing board. Come on, beta. Come on, baby. Let's do it again. That's all your inner child wants to hear. And how long you have to say that is dependent on each person. You can heal. You can make the money. We can do this together. Money is not bad. Money is not evil. Money does not mean that everybody will leave you. Or, you are not destined to be sick or ill. You don't have to fall sick to get love of your family. Keep on saying that thing.
Yeah, thank you very much. Very nice session, Nivedita. And this weight loss is actually a lifelong program. This is what I have understood so far from my 1 kilo or 2 kilo down like that. But somehow I have overcome my cravings because I have a hormone problem actually, PCOS and thyroid. So that is, very difficult with that metabolism disorder is there. So what I made, my mind that the taste of everything which I like is only for 1 second. And after it goes to throat, everything is same, whether it was sweet or bitter or salty. So that is why, I restrict the things which I like also. Even if I eat 2 morsel or if I have full plate, it is almost same, the taste, I mean. So somehow I am controlling in that way. So now nice techniques you have given me. Thank you very much. And I want to request you to post the previous session because you are mentioning about it, and I'm really eager to hear that what techniques you had mentioned in that last Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. And you brought up a very important point that I want to leave you with this one. This is not a try it a few times and everything is fine technique. You learned walking. How long did it take you to learn walking? How long did it take you to learn talking? And if you stop walking for 6 months, you won't be able to get up and walk. Same. Sure. If you stop doing this, it's not going to work. You have to continue to do this till the end of your life. But in the beginning, it's more difficult. In the end, it becomes a habit. Your subconscious will take over. You will be working, driving, cooking, everything and tapping at the same time. You won't even realize you're tapping. I want you to come to that stage where it subconsciously happens. Like when we are driving, we can do 3 other things while we are driving. We can do 4 other things when we are cooking because it has gone to our subconscious. So bring EFT, emotional freedom technique or tapping, make it a subconscious habit. And even when things are going bad, especially when things are going bad, do it. That is your reassurance to your inner child that I love, accept and honor you exactly the way you are. Not only when you're doing well, even when you're failing, I love, accept and honor you. That's when it will start working with you and not against you.
Okay, I have one problem now I'm facing nowadays. Although I was very vocal during my school days and all, speech competition and everything. But nowadays, I don't know, I want to hide. In whatever WhatsApp group I have seen myself, I just read the message and I just keep quiet. I don't like to comment. Maybe I'm thinking that if I write, nobody is acknowledging or nobody is responding, then I will feel bad. I mean, so how to overcome this?
See, not the last session, but the session before that, we did a satsang on showing up. It's very important. In fact, if you become a member, or I don't know how Ragini will, you can talk to Ragini how you can access that particular video. It is very important to show up, and showing up in 3 ways. Showing up physically, that's why I keep insisting, put your video on, because when you're not showing up, your conscious mind is sending a signal to your subconscious, you are not good enough, you're not looking good enough, or you're distracted. So don't appear in public. That you can say tap all you want, but this is what you're believing. So you have to physically show up. Just by showing up, your physical appearance will change because you will start making small changes. Then in mind means what? Giving our opinion. We are so scared that our opinion is not worthy, not intelligent, not smart. No, even if it is not worthy, not important, you have to learn to trust, love, honor your opinion, to give an opinion, to speak up, open your mouth, not incessantly chatter, but a thought out opinion. Because remember, if you are the most intelligent person in a room, you're in the wrong room. Everybody's learning from you. You're not learning from anybody. So find yourself in a room where there are people who know more than you, people who know as much as you, and people who know less than you. And then intellectually stand up to what you believe in. Make a statement and have an opinion, not just saying it. Intellectually is deciding this is right, this is wrong for me. If you don't express those things, that means you're judging yourself. How are you loving, accepting, and honoring yourself? If you do these 3 things in life, if you say, I will not get that job, you won't get that job. If you go to 100 jobs, 99 will reject you, but you need that one acceptance. But that one acceptance will come if 99 have rejected you. Nobody has gone through success and mastery without failure and rejection. But 1, 2, 3 rejection, we stop showing up in life. So show up. Everywhere you're a member, if it doesn't interest you, get out of, don't waste your energy there. If it interests you, show your face, give an opinion, ask questions, and start forming opinions of what is right and what is wrong for you at this current level of awareness. That is not how it's going to stay for the rest of your life. Your opinions will change, but you have to force yourself to have an opinion.
Thank you very much for your very nice advice.
We'll meet again next Sunday.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Image here that tells you that. So there's the top of the head, eyebrows, between your eyebrows, side of your eyes, below your eyes, below your nose, in the chin area, the dent, collarbone, and under arm. And then before you start, there is a karate chop point where you set up the statement. But, you know, Ragini has shared it. She will share again that image, which will give you, you know, where to tap. No, first you start with a negative statement, all the things that you believe you can't have, why you can't be thin, why you can't be rich, why you can't be healthy. First you acknowledge, don't push it under your subconscious.
Got
acknowledge. Even though I think it's not possible for me, not in this lifetime, nobody has taught me, I don't have the inheritance, I don't have the training, I don't have the degree. So first you acknowledge the negative things, and then you release it, and then you fill it with positive things. Because remember, in the beginning I talked that our brain is biased towards negativity. We have a confirmation bias, and we have a confirmation bias. Whatever we believe, that's what we're going to see and manifest. So since we believe in negativity more than positivity, that's why we manifest negativity. And that's why this Sangha is there to cultivate positivity.
I was going to say that. That is the whole idea of building this positive community. So
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rakhi, for all the inputs.